Silent in the crowd, the journey to mental wellness among American youth in the 21st century. Are you really okay? In a high school classroom in California, 17-year-old Anna sits among laughing friends, her phone buzzing constantly with TikTok likes. On social media, she's known as an inspiration for academics, aesthetics, and vintage fashion. But what few people know is that every night Anna silently cries, overwhelmed by the feeling of not being good enough, not pretty enough, and the pressure to always appear okay. The question, are you okay, seemingly simple, is one of the hardest for today's youth in America to answer honestly. In an age of rapid digital expansion, where everything can be filtered, edited, and shared within seconds, young people face increasing mental strain. Smiles posted online often mask the loneliness and anxiety lurking underneath. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in 2023, more than 42% of U.S. high school students reported feeling persistently sad or hopeless. Even more concerning, nearly 1 in 5 admitted to seriously considering suicide. These are not just cold statistics. They are silent cries for help. What's really going on? Why is the most digitally connected generation in history also the loneliest and most emotionally exhausted? This journey isn't just about exploring the current state of mental health in youth. It's about awakening empathy, sparking understanding, and, above all, offering hope. Mental health is not a luxury. It's a fundamental right for every young person navigating the maze of growing up. Part 1. The current state of youth mental health in the U.S. Today's American youth live in a world of contrasts, rapid technological advances, and access to unprecedented educational opportunities, but also a sharp decline in emotional well-being and mental stability. 1.1. Alarming numbers. According to CDC data, 2023, 57% of high school girls and 29% of boys reported feeling persistently sad or hopeless during the past year. The World Health Organization, WHO, lists depression as one of the top 3 causes of disability in individuals aged 15 to 29. The suicide rate among U.S. teens has nearly doubled over the last decade. These are not isolated cases. They reflect a mental health crisis affecting millions of young people. 1.2. The aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Extended online learning has led to a loss of real-life communication and social skills. Social isolation increased the vulnerability of those already at risk of emotional instability. Schools face waves of students exhibiting symptoms of anxiety, stress, and even post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. 1.3. The psychology of Gen Z and Gen Alpha. These generations were born in the digital age, with early exposure to the internet and social media. They tend to explore identity and self-worth through digital lenses, making them more prone to constant comparison. They crave validation, but often lack emotional tools to handle rejection, disappointment, or failure. In short, the data tells a sobering truth. Young people are suffering silently. Their minds are overwhelmed with pressure, comparison, and unrealistic expectations, often without safe spaces to unpack their emotions. Part 2. The silent enemies of the mind. 2.1. Social media and the trap of perfection. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. These platforms aren't just for sharing anymore. They've become arenas for performance. The problem is, the life we see there isn't real life. It's curated, filtered, and carefully posed. This gives rise to social comparison syndrome. You see someone with perfect skin, a fit body, a successful relationship, and you automatically feel like you're falling behind. But what you don't see is the hours spent editing, the hidden anxiety, or the struggles outside the frame. The result? A warped self-image and constant pressure to maintain a perfect online identity. 2.2. FOMO, fear of missing out. Young people today live with a persistent fear. What if something amazing is happening and I'm not part of it? FOMO pushes teens and young adults to stay online late at night, scroll endlessly, and feel anxious even during rest. It causes disrupted sleep patterns, increased anxiety, inability to enjoy the present moment. Ironically, in trying not to miss out, they often miss the life happening right in front of them. 2.3 Toxic positivity, the pressure to always be happy. Messages like just be positive, good vibes only, or smile more flood the internet. Though well-intentioned, they can become harmful when they deny people the right to feel pain or be sad. When young people are told to cheer up instead of being heard, they learn to bury their emotions, hide their true selves, internalize shame for not feeling okay. This is toxic positivity, the belief that only good emotions are acceptable. But real healing begins when all feelings are acknowledged and accepted. 2.4 Loneliness in a connected world. Here's the paradox. Thousands of followers, but no one really knows me. Social media creates the illusion of connection, but often replaces meaningful relationships with shallow interactions. Likes and views feel good for a moment, but they don't replace eye contact, heartfelt conversation, or someone simply being there. Many young people feel lonelier despite being constantly connected, a loneliness that's deep and invisible. Part 3, Emotional Education, the key to a stronger self. 3.1, Understanding EQ. Emotional intelligence. IQ might help you solve math problems, but EQ helps you solve life. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the ability to recognize your own feelings, understand others' emotions, regulate emotional responses, build and maintain healthy relationships. Teaching EQ is not about making people softer. It's about making them stronger, more self-aware, and more compassionate. 3.2, Naming your emotions. The first step to healing. One of the most powerful tools in emotional health is emotional labeling. Instead of saying, I feel bad, try, I feel anxious, I feel rejected, I feel overwhelmed. Naming the emotion helps calm the brain, shifts thinking from survival to problem solving, and gives you back a sense of control. 3.3, Asking for help, a sign of strength. Many young people fear judgment if they admit they're struggling, but we must change the narrative. Courage isn't suffering in silence, it's speaking up. Teach teens to say, I'm feeling really anxious. Can I talk to you? I'm overwhelmed. I don't need advice right now, just someone to listen. These aren't weaknesses, they're lifelines. 3.4, Learning to value yourself, even without achievements. Modern culture equates self-worth with productivity, appearance, or accolades. But emotional education teaches that you are worthy even when you're not winning. The message should be, you don't need to be the best to be enough. You are already enough, exactly as you are. 3.5, Schools as emotional safe spaces. Some schools in the U.S. have already begun integrating social and emotional learning, SEL, into their curriculum based on the Cassell framework. These programs teach emotional regulation, empathy, conflict resolution, self-awareness, responsible decision-making. The results? Better academic performance, lower rates of violence and bullying, and a more connected school culture. SEL is an extra. It's essential. Part 4, Small actions, big change. Mental health isn't just about therapy or medication. It's about the little things we do every day that help our minds feel safe, seen, and supported. You don't need to wait for a crisis to start caring for your mental well-being. The journey begins now with small steps that create lasting impact. 4.1, Journaling your emotions. A blank notebook, no filters, no expectations, just honesty. Journaling is one of the simplest and most powerful tools for emotional clarity. Writing helps organize thoughts, reduce stress, and identify patterns in your feelings. Prompts you can try. What am I feeling today and why? What's one thing that made me smile? What's weighing me down that I haven't said out loud? This daily practice becomes a mirror to your soul, a safe space where you can show up as your full self. No judgment. 4.2, Move your body, heal your mind. Exercise isn't just for physical fitness, it's medicine for your mental health. Even 20 minutes of walking, dancing, or stretching can boost endorphins, your natural feel-good chemicals, reduce stress hormones, improve sleep, increase self-confidence. You don't have to go to the gym or run a marathon. Any movement is better than none. Your body isn't just a vessel, it's your partner in healing. 4.3 Mindfulness and the Art of Slowing Down. Mindfulness is about being present, even for just a few minutes. In a world that's always rushing, pausing can feel radical. Try this. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, repeat 3 to 5 times. This tiny moment of stillness tells your brain, I am safe right now. Over time, mindfulness reduces anxiety, improves focus, and helps you become more emotionally aware. 4.4 Real Connections. Online interactions. It's easy to mistake digital attention for real connection, but no number of likes or views can replace genuine human relationships. Challenge yourself to make eye contact when talking, ask meaningful questions. Spend time fully present with a friend, no phones. Say, I appreciate you more often. Even one real, safe relationship can protect against depression, anxiety, and loneliness. 4.5 Asking for professional help is brave. There's still a stigma around therapy and mental health care, but that's changing, one honest conversation at a time. Going to therapy doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're brave enough to face what hurts and committed enough to heal it. Thanks to digital platforms like BetterHelp, Talkspace, or school-based counselors, therapy is now more accessible than ever, often anonymous, affordable, and tailored for young people. If you're feeling stuck, sad, or lost, it's okay to reach out. That's how change begins. 4.6 Inspiration from public figures who spoke up. When public figures share their mental health struggles, they show us that healing is possible, even when the world is watching. Selena Gomez has spoken openly about her battle with bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety. She even launched a mental health platform, Wondermind, to break the silence. Logic, the rapper, released 1-800-273-8255, a song about suicide prevention. That song helped save real lives and increased calls to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by over 50%. Naomi Osaka, the tennis star, chose to step back from major tournaments to protect her mental health. That one decision sparked a global conversation about emotional well-being in sports. Their courage becomes our permission. If they can choose healing, so can we. These actions may seem small, but together they create a foundation for lifelong mental wellness. You don't need to do everything. Just choose one thing to start, one conversation, one journal entry, one walk outside, one breath of mindfulness. The path forward is made of tiny steps, and each one counts. Part 5. Family, School, and Society, a Circle of Care. Mental health is not a solo journey. Even the most emotionally aware individual needs supportive environments, places where healing is nurtured, not suppressed. For young people, the most important systems surrounding them are family, school, and society. When these systems work together, they form a circle of care that protects and uplifts. 5.1 Family. You don't need to be perfect. Just present. Young people don't expect their parents or caregivers to have all the answers. What they really need is someone who listens without judgment, validates their emotions, creates a safe space to feel and express, shows consistent love, even when things get hard. One of the most powerful things a parent can say is, I may not understand everything, but I'm here for you, and I believe you. Emotional safety starts at home. Families that allow open conversations about feelings help prevent shame, fear, and emotional isolation. Simple ways to support mental wellness at home. Ask open-ended questions. What's something you've been thinking about lately? Normalize all emotions, even anger, jealousy, and sadness. Set aside screen-free time to talk and reconnect. Model vulnerability. When adults express their own feelings healthily, kids learn to do the same. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to walk alongside your child, reminding them they don't have to go through it alone. 5.2 Schools more than grades. They're places of growth. For many students, school is where they spend the majority of their waking hours. This makes schools one of the most important places for early mental health support. Unfortunately, many school systems still prioritize test scores over emotional well-being. But that's changing. Progressive schools across the U.S. are integrating mental health education into health or advisory classes, mindfulness programs and quiet rooms for students to reset on-site counselors, and peer support groups. Curriculum that includes SEL, social and emotional learning, empowering students to manage emotions, build empathy, and resolve conflicts. When schools treat students as whole people, not just learners, academic success actually increases, along with happiness, confidence, and social skills. Every teacher, administrator, and counselor has a role in fostering a school climate where it's okay to ask for help, where mistakes are part of learning, and where mental wellness is part of the curriculum. 5.3 Social media, it can heal if we use it wisely. Social media is not inherently toxic. It's a tool. The impact depends on how it's used. When used intentionally, social media can share accurate, empowering mental health information, foster global communities around healing and support, help young people realize they are not alone, reduce stigma by showing real, relatable stories of recovery and growth. But that means teaching media literacy, how to recognize harmful content, how to detox from comparison culture, how to follow creators who inspire, not shame, how to set boundaries with screen time. Let's transform social media from a source of anxiety into a platform for healing. 5.4 Peer support. Community that understands. Sometimes young people feel more comfortable talking to someone their own age, someone who just gets it without needing long explanations. That's why peer support groups, mentorship programs, and student-led wellness initiatives are so powerful. Examples: high school wellness clubs that meet weekly to discuss mental health, college peer mentors, trained in basic emotional first aid, online safe spaces, moderated by trained youth leaders, mental health podcasts, and YouTube channels created by Teens for Teens. These peer-based movements remind young people, you're not the only one feeling this way. We're in this together. 5.5 Society ending the stigma, one conversation at a time. As a culture, we need to normalize conversations about mental health in the same way we talk about physical health. It should be just as okay to say, I'm going to therapy, as it is to say, I'm going to the gym. I need a mental health day, as it is to say, I caught a cold. Change begins when influencers speak up about anxiety and burnout. Employers provide mental health resources for staff. Faith communities include emotional care in their outreach. Local governments fund school counselors and public programs. Mental health isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And when society embraces that truth, everyone benefits. So remember, young people flourish when surrounded by adults who care, systems that support, and peers who listen. The village matters. And when that village chooses compassion, healing becomes possible and even joyful. Part 6, your healing journey begins now. A letter to the self. Healing is not a finish line. It's a rhythm, a daily practice, a soft, steady returning to yourself. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll feel like you're unraveling. And both are okay. Progress is not linear, and every step forward, no matter how small, is still a victory. Let's start here. A letter to you, from you, a letter to the self. Dear me, I know you've been carrying a lot. I see how you keep showing up, even when your heart feels heavy. I know you've smiled through sadness, held it in so no one would worry. I know you've compared yourself to others and felt like you weren't enough. But here's what's true. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not alone. You're healing, even when it doesn't feel like it. You're growing, even when it's hard to see. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to keep breathing. Keep choosing yourself. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm here for you. Love me. 6.1. Healing is messy, and that's okay. Healing doesn't mean you'll never feel sad again. It means you start understanding your sadness. It means you give yourself grace when you fall back into old habits. It means you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What do I need right now?" It's not about fixing yourself. It's about befriending yourself. 6.2, you are not alone. If there's one message we hope you carry from this journey, it's this: you are not alone. There are others who feel just like you. There are people who will listen without judgment. There is support, professionally, personally, and spiritually. You were never meant to carry it all by yourself. Let others in. Let them walk with you. Let them remind you of your strength when you forget. 6.3, small steps matter. Your healing doesn't require big, dramatic changes. It begins in moments like drinking water when you'd rather stay in bed, telling a friend how you really feel, taking a walk to clear your mind, saying no when something doesn't feel right, saying yes to help when it's offered. Every small act of self-care is an act of resistance against the culture of burnout, comparison, and perfectionism. 6.4, from surviving to thriving. You deserve more than just surviving. You deserve to laugh with your whole body, to cry without shame, to rest without guilt, to live a life that feels like your own. Mental wellness is not a luxury. It is the foundation for every other dream you have. So protect it, nurture it, fight for it, not just for yourself, but for every person who doesn't yet believe they're worth it, because you are, and they are too. Final thoughts. A generation that knows how to feel. Imagine a generation of young people who know how to name their emotions, know how to ask for help, know how to hold space for others, know how to love themselves, flaws and all. This generation is already here, and you are part of it. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are wise for honoring what your body and mind are telling you. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter, one where your mental wellness isn't hidden but celebrated. You're not behind, you're right on time, and we're proud of you.